I think. Welcome to yoga, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. So we're in preparation for this big conjunction that happens on Monday on the solstice, and already a big planet ours shifted into this energy. So we'll start to feel a lot of maybe this kind of energy, third eye kind of mind energy. And so this energy that's coming in is higher vibrational energy that's really helping us kind of shake things up, or really allowing us to kind of free ourselves from any of the molds or habituated patterns of energy or behavior that's keeping us stuck in old ways. So this is like the energy of like revolution, the energy of change, of creativity, of kind of like coming ahead of our time. So it's the future. And so we're going to work with that today by shaking it up and working with our left and right hemispheres of the brain, which are very different, right? We have the left logical linear side. We have the right, the creative, intuitive. So we're going to try and do some bridging with that, as well as working with our eyes, right? That the eyes and how they're working with our minds, so that we can freshen our eyes so that we can see differently. And a lot of the yoga texts and talk about that, you know, like when we get used to things, right, we don't see them the same. We kind of get kind of numb to things, or we get kind of in a trance where we're not really completely aware of things as they are, like in their true state. And so we kind of see things the way we've always seen them. We see people, we see life, we see all kinds of things. And so a lot of this yogic journey of awakening is learning how to be very, very present and seeing things as they are in their true nature, and being able to witness the present moment with new potential, with innocence. And so hopefully as we do this work, and a lot of it's physical work that we do, and also it's energy work that we do within our bodies to try and bring in new energy that's high vibration, high frequency, that helps us think differently. So all that to say, let's do some yoga and see how it all turns out. So let's start by closing our eyes and rubbing our hands together. We're going to rub a little longer because we're going to really do some good work for the eyes, especially with all the technology that we're on now with Zoom and a lot more stimulation to the eyes. And then when you're ready, heel of the hands go over the eyes and imagine yourself receiving kind of your energy to soften the eyes, to kind of reset that vision, so that we see with a sense of freshness, with a sense of curiosity. So really just rest those eyes back into the sockets. Feel the energy that you might feel, like that kind of buzzy energy from your hands. Just feel that being absorbed into your body, into your eyes. And then lower your hands, and then blink a couple times to open. And then we're going to do some eye work. So you're not going to move your head, you're just going to move your eyes, okay? So gaze all the way up, as far up as you can, and then gaze all the way down without moving your head. And just do that a few more times, up and down. And as far up as you can see, and as far down. Far up and down. Up and down. Two more. Keep breathing as you're trying to focus. And now look to the left, as far as you can to the left, and as far as you can to the right. And again, try not to move your head. So these exercises are really great ones to do, like in between Zoom meetings. You can just do them, even taking an eye break in the middle of the meeting. Left and right. Two more. Left and right. Left and right. One more. Left and right. And then just look to the center, blink a couple times. We're going to be going from the left corner to the right, and then from the right upper corner to the left. So you're going to form an X. Keep your head still and look up into the left, down into the right. Up into the right, down into the left. Up into the left, down to the right, up to the right, down to the left. Keep forming that X. just with your eyes. You're just kind of noticing preferences between sides, or maybe sides that feel easier. Maybe an eye feels stronger. And then we'll do one more cycle, forming that X. And then look to the center, blink a couple times. Now we're going to make a circle. So just remember what direction you go, and then we'll go the opposite. So maybe we'll start clockwise. So you're going to go up, and then slowly with both of your eyes, make a circle. This one's harder for me to do both. See if you can let both of your eyes track the circle. Notice any parts of the circle that feel hard to track. Then we'll go the opposite direction, up to the left or counterclockwise. And keep breathing. I notice I tend to hold my breath when I'm trying so hard to concentrate on these eye exercises. One more. And then close your eyes and just take a moment. Breathe and kind of feel your eyes relax again. And then I want you just to check in with your brain. Notice if you can feel more of a sense of energy on the right side of your brain or the left. And again, this is just a felt sense. You may not be able to tell, but just what do you feel on the right side of your brain, and what do you feel on the left? And just notice where most of your energy might be, if it's split. Then I want you to notice, if you were to look in the space between your eyes, like that center of the forehead, is it easier to see the number 11 or an X? And just notice that. Is it easier to see the number 11 or easier to form an X? Which one feels more clear? And just notice that. Okay, and then switch the crossing of your legs. If you're sitting cross-legged, take your right hand and fold back the index and the middle fingers and let them touch the base of the thumb. You're going to use your thumb and your ring and pinky finger. And you're going to close off your right side and breathe in through your left. Close the left, breathe out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. Try to feel the energy moving through the hemispheres of the brain. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. And just release your hands for a moment, palms facing up. And again, check it back in with your brain and notice again if you have more energy on one side or the other, the right or the left. Just kind of noticing. Maybe it's shifted from when you checked in before, maybe it's the same. And then once again, notice if it's easier to see the letter X or the number 11. Maybe it's the same, just notice. And then blink your eyes like 10 times to really just reset your eyes. So we were doing some balancing work and some work to strengthen the eyes and kind of reset. So this might cause you to get a little dizzy, so go slower if you need to, or just stop and just breathe normally, okay? So the hands are gonna go behind the head, drop those shoulders down. If that doesn't work, you can touch the top of the shoulders. So if this is better for shoulders, do this, otherwise you're gonna make here. You're gonna inhale left, exhale right. So I'm breathing only through the nose, in left, out right. Try if you can to hold your attention at the center of the brain. So it's almost like there's a still point there that you can imagine, like a certain sense of steadiness. We're not here too long. Four. And then slowly come to a stillness. You might just have to take a moment to let everything reset. Breathe in and out. And then take your left hand behind your head, walk those right fingertips out. Take a nice little side stretch here. And I'm kind of holding the side of the head so that my head feels really secure. And as you bend that right elbow, keep your eyes closed and feel that left sitting bone maybe lighten a bit as you reach from that left shoulder into your elbow. And then let that elbow turn towards the floor, curl in. Let the elbow feel heavy so you can let that left side of your shoulder release. The back of your neck release. And then slowly let your head kind of fall back into your arms. And now kind of rotate the chest up a bit. So a little bit of a twist or a heart opener. Keep holding your head pretty firmly so that you can open the chest without kind of stressing the neck. And then turn back to your side bend and then press into your right hand to come up. And then release that left arm and just kind of roll the shoulders a few times, like check out your shoulders and your neck. And then right hand goes behind the head. Go ahead and bend into that left fingertips, that left palm, and stretch. So it's totally fine to feel the right sitting bone lighten a bit. But really hold on to the head. So see if you can get the most grip on your head and neck so that you feel the most amount of relaxation. Keep those eyes closed and just feel and sense. And one way we can kind of heighten our intuition and ability to kind of strengthen that right side of the brain is to imagine and sense without looking necessarily. Turn the right elbow to face down. You're going to roll your chest down for a little bit of a twist here. Feel that elbow heavy. Feel the right side of your shoulder blade widen and descend. And then slowly come back up and then stretch open. So a little bit of a heart opener. Let your head fall back into your hand. And then slowly press your way up. Take both hands behind your head this time and kind of allow your head to reach back, a little tip up and back. And on the exhale, let the elbows round towards the floor, kind of rounding into a little ball. And then sitting up nice and tall, relax your arms and roll those shoulders a couple times. Okay, you guys. So slowly going to come to an all fours. So take your time here to kind of start moving around your hips so you can cat-cow a bit or just kind of shift forward or back. A couple times just to wake up the legs after being seated for so long. So just move your hips around a bit. So whatever feels good to kind of intuitively move our bodies in just kind of a free form fashion. And then once again, take your right hand behind your head and then turn and twist. So press into that left palm with your chest spin open and then try to aim that elbow towards your left thigh and kind of round and release. And then come back into that all fours. Take your arm out to the side and then thread the needle and rest on your right cheek and shoulder. So I can just keep that right palm facing up, left palm pressing into the floor. And if I want to, I can slide the left heel back or the left leg back and get a little calf stretch here. I can even lift the leg if I wanted a little more. Take some nice deep breaths there. And then put the knee back down, press all the way up to all fours, and then we'll switch. So left hand goes behind the head, peel up for a spinal twist, and then wrap it in so that you reach your elbow towards your forearm, let the head go, come back to center, and then take that arm out to the side and then thread it through. So once again, I can just lay here and stretch and feel the rotation, or I can stretch the right leg straight. Maybe it just stays for a calf stretch and I reach that heel back, or maybe I try and balance. So anytime we twist, it's good for balancing the hemispheres of the brain, the masculine, the feminine, yin and yang, lunar, solar. So we're just kind of starting with some twisting and side bending, just to, again, try to balance the brain. Coming back up to all fours, and then tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. And right away, go ahead and bend that right knee, press into your right palm and try and straighten and release the left heel down. And then switch, bend the left knee, straighten the right leg, and press the left palm away from the right hip. And then both knees can bend. You can release the hips all the way back. So we're going to do today what's called a reverse vinyasa, and that's just, again, to shake things up. So we're going to go through these spinal rolls first, and that's going to help you kind of get there. But before we do that, let's go ahead and set the knees down and just do a couple cat-cows if you haven't done that normal, just to kind of feel that articulation. Because this is what we're basically doing in the air when we're going to roll into our vinyasa, just to kind of warm up. So a couple more. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog, and then we'll try it. So just listen carefully and just follow along as best you can. We're going to lift the heels up high. And if you wanted to put your hands on 2 blocks, this makes it a lot easier. Then start to roll. So you're going to round lower back, middle back, and then when you get your shoulders over your hips, you can drop to your knees or you can just drop your hips. So you come towards an upward dog. And again, I can drop my knees. And then I'm going to lift my hips to the strength of my core, plank pose. And then I'll go chaturanga down to my belly. Take a moment and just let your space between your forehead rest on your palms. You can just gently kind of tap it a few times, or maybe you massage your head side to side, and just letting that be kind of an invitation to relax that frontal lobe of your brain. And that thinking, reasoning, just relaxing. And then place your hands behind your head, similar to what we've done before, but now we're going to widen the elbows wide. Press into the pubic bone, fire up the legs, and lift up. And you're going to press your head into your hands so that your neck stays long. For 3, strong through your core. 2, all the way down. Now plant your hands, press up to plank, and then downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Step your right leg forward between your hands and drop to your left knee, and then take your hands behind your head. We're just going to kind of lift up first for that low lunge, and then we're going to take some side stretches side to side. So just kind of going back and forth like you're a pendulum. Kind of feeling out each side of the back. And then when you're ready to come into center, lengthen the back of the head. So really feel supported here. Tuck the back toes under and lay forward here in a high lunge here. So I'm kind of pitching my chest forward strong to the legs, and now twist to the right. Keep your head long and relaxing back into your head. So there's no strain in the neck, a lot of work through the core. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, come back to the center and then bend the left knee round. Pull down and then lift up. Shoulders on your back, straight back leg. And then bend and then straighten. Front knee stays bent, then back knee, straighten back leg, one more, and up. Take a moment to bend the left knee to come all the way up straight, and then step the back leg forward to meet the front leg. Take a deep breath, lift up, and then side bend to your right, hold. So I really do my best to lift that right side waist so it doesn't get too heavy. Come all the way up, go to the left. Keep that left waist lifted. Now come up, take a deep breath, and then arms reach up. And on the exhale, forward fold. Long spine. And then exhale, squat and curl. So we're gonna roll like a ball. So you might have to shoulder yourself to get back, but we're just gonna roll up and down a few times to massage the low back. So I'm not gonna roll to my head, just the top of the shoulders. And now if you want to, if I want to add on to this, I can take my legs and reach them back towards the plow pose. And then come up. Couple more. Last one. And then roll up to a seat. Hands can come back to support, or I can do this with hands at heart. This is your hip strengthening, windshield wiper your legs. So if I have my hands down, less intense. If I'm hovering, more intense. So I'm going to try and rock side to side, and I move quite a bit when I do this. All right. Rock it all the way to the right for a moment. Grab onto your left ankle and we'll reverse our warrior. Let the head go. And then we're going to take it down with the right hand and the left arm reaches over to the diagonal and we're going to kind of twist. So I'm using my bent right arm to lift and rotate my belly so I can reach to that left side. Let your head relax. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up, bringing both feet to neutral, cross your ankles and come forward. And then we'll come to downward facing dog for that reverse vinyasa. Okay, so lift your heels, find your belly, keep your hips lifting away from your fingertips, and I'll roll your way toward upward dog that's either knees down or knees lifted. From your upward facing dog, come to plank. Just one baby chaturanga, back to plank, to downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Let your head really drop so that the four sides of your neck feel equally long. You can even shake your head out if you want. Left leg forward to that low lunge. So pad your knee if it's tender. So if you always have the right hand on the back, switch it. So now that you have something that feels a little awkward, right? So that we're switching it up. And again, like a pendulum, go side to side. So I have to really stabilize with the strength of my hips and my core, not to fall over. So feel that left heel securely pressing down. Feel your belly kind of release back towards your spine. And then somehow come to kind of a more neutral shape. Feel that lift. Feel your head relaxing into the back of the hands. Tuck your toes under, and as I lift up, I'm going to hinge forward. Okay? So as I fire up that right leg, bring the left hip back, and I twist to the left. Letting my head fall into my hands. So I might even squeeze the head a bit with the heel of my hands so I can feel that I can relax the traps and I can let the head go. And I can twist more from my core. Now come back to the center. You bend back knee, let those elbows fold, kind of like a cat back. And then straighten it back up, maybe a little lift here. Exhale. Inhale. Find a focal point. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. And then lift it up. Bend the back knee so you can lift all the way up. Then you'll step the front back leg to meet the front leg. So now we're going to add a side bend and a twist. So you're going to go to the right. Then you're going to slide that right lung forward and the left lung back without moving your hips. So it's a twist. Let your head fall back. So feel that waist, that upper waist twisting, the hips and the legs stay stable. Breathe, relax your head, and then come back to the center. Side bend to the left. Your hips stay square. Just move the upper right rib cage back and the left rib cage forward. Let your head fall back into your hands. It's an awkward twist. So kind of be with all those interesting sensations along the core and the spine. Come back out of it. Arms reach up. And then exhale, let your thumbs touch your third eye. That space between your head, massage a little bit. And then exhale all the way down. Tuck and curl. Ease your way back to rolling like a ball. So here's an option. You can just roll like a ball. Or if this hurts your back, you can just massage your knees, okay? If you want to do a little breath practice and core work, you're going to exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now, I don't have to drop my legs to the floor, and I like releasing my legs onto my hands for lumbar support. So exhale, inhale. Otherwise, you're rolling like a ball. This is a good way to wake up energy along the base of the spine so we can move it. Exhale, inhale. You have 5 more. Otherwise, you're just rolling like a ball. Now, if I didn't want to do the roll back, I could just lower and lift the legs too. Last couple. And then this time, roll all the way up. Windshield wiper your legs again. So again, I can use my hands to support, or I can try to balance seated. I'm going to stay with supported hands because otherwise I go out of view because I move too much. And then come all the way to the left. Sit up nice and tall. Grab onto your right ankle and then side stretch to your right. Let your head go. And then the left arm comes down, that little bit of kind of that side stretch twist, and then the right arm reaches. Keep your left arm bent to try to lift your chest and spin it down towards the floor. And then reach from your right side waist all the way through your right palm. Let your head go. Feel deep awakening in your core and upper back. Slowly make your way up. Come back to neutral. Then cross the opposite leg, the non-habit forming leg, come forward. And then downward facing dog. Reverse vinyasa. This time we're going to go to our belly at the end of our chaturanga so that we can do that same back bend shape. So lift your heels, pull your belly in, roll nice and slow. Try to make this roll a little slower so you feel your core. Upward dog or knee down upward dog, showing you that. Use your belly, pull up towards your hips, plank. Hold in your chaturanga for a beat, all the way down. Once again, hands behind your head, elbows first down. Feel your belly strengthen, feel your legs strengthen, and then lift your elbows away from the floor, press head into hands. Strong for your spine. And then when you're ready, release down. Release the hands to the floor so you have that forehead pillow, and then just massage the space between your eyes. Deep breath in and out. When you feel ready, downward facing dog. Breathe in, maybe a sigh or a bubbling lips. Breathe out. Okay, we're going to take that right leg and step it forward between our hands for warrior 2. And I'm going to turn around so I have a different position for you guys. Front heel, back arch, okay? So the left hand's going to go to the left hip for stability. And I want you to have it here also to feel that left glute turn on. So imagine that you are lifting that side hip into your hand and pressing down to that ankle, okay? With the right hand, we're going to do some shoulder work. So you're going to first have your palm. We're going to bring the palm, the bicep towards one another as I look towards my bicep. Then I'm going to turn and look away as I internally rotate. Externally, bring nose towards bicep. Externally. You can go down if you want. Exhale. Inhale. Try to let your head just rotate on a central axis, so I'm not side bending at all. Deepening my front leg, feeling that back glute turn on the back. Keep it going. So you should feel a little neck stretch here, especially on this angle where we're getting kind of that whole trapezius. Okay, one more. And release. Nice. Float both arms up. And then bring your hands to your heart. Turn your toes out, horse pose. So here's again another brain one. We're going to cross arm over, wrist over wrist, and then straighten arms and legs. And then reverse, opposite arm on top. So it's exhale, inhale. You can do kind of a breath of fire. And just imagine this again, resetting circuits. Go deep in that squat. You can be fast or slow. Really open through the shoulders. As you open your palms up, feel expansive. Yeah. You got it. Keep going. 4. Could take it all the way up. Stretch. Bring the arms up to touch. Come back into horse. And then turn warrior 2 again. Arms all the way up. Then we're going to cross right arm over left. Eagle arms. So go ahead and kind of open up the upper back. So kind of feel this out. You need to go prayer hands, that's fine. So we want to really open up upper back. Drop elbows down, but release the forearms forward. And now turn, find a focal point, and come into eagle pose. Right leg is your base. I want you to really clamp down on those legs, sit far back. Your left toes can be a kickstand. And allow yourself to close your eyes if you can. Stay in this pose with a soft gaze. So either eyes closed or very softly gazing. And imagine yourself an eagle. Imagine yourself kind of flying above the norm, the things that we kind of get accustomed to, so that you can have that keen perception for ideas, for ingenuity. Okay, take another deep breath. You're going to release your arms and take them out to the side. Bring your left knee up, bend your right knee. Now keep your spine like plank, hinge. You have 2 bent knees. And then straighten your right leg, straighten your arms. Airplane arms. Okay, bend it again. Straighten. Bend. Straighten, like you're getting more and more vibrant and lifted. One more time. Bend both. Kick it up and hold for 3. You got it. 2. And bring the feet to touch. Arms lift up. Inhale. And on the exhale, forward fold. Tuck and curl in that little squat. Then when you're ready, you'll either, again, roll back, roll forward, just massaging the spine, or you're on your back, massaging. You could even do some little core work if you wanted with your legs up, or you're following me again, and it's exhale, inhale. So be really careful that your lumbar isn't moving. That's why I have my hands underneath my back for the exhale and then the inhale. Okay, it can be very small. It doesn't have to be like a huge rock back. It can just be a little one. I just want you shaking it up on your spine. So maybe like 3 more. You can be doing core work, or you can just be rolling it around, right? Just shaking it around. Really nice, you guys. And then just come with your legs vertical if you can. Legs straight. Just kind of press your heels up. Feel the hamstring stretch here. Then go ahead and let the legs come down. So we're going to widen our feet a bit so that they're a little bit wider than normal for our bridge, and do a little bit more hip work. So again, the feet are wider than normal, okay? So we're going to lift the hips up, tap them down. Keep your spine long, right? So they're not rolling up and down. You can go goalpost arms to make it more challenging, or even arms up to the sky. Okay, so I want you to feel your glutes. You should feel more outside edges of the glutes with your feet wide. So keep breathing. You can inhale, exhale, but just keep your breath going. Close your eyes and imagine the energy, the prana in your hips. Prana is energy, so kind of feel this heat that you're building through the strength of the muscles being energy that you're waking up. This is creative energy, right? We want to bring that creative energy up towards our brain so we can put it into practice, into action, into our perceptions. Then stay at the top and hold. Feel your tailbone lengthen, front hip points are level. One more breath, feel the outer edges of your feet light up. And then set the hips down. Windshield wiper your legs. Okay. Roll on up to a seat. Okay. So we're just going to take it over to the right again. So here's your option. You can repeat if you liked to make this more fluid. You can just go back to doing this, which was our reverse warrior, and then our twist. So that can totally be what you do. Otherwise, we can work some hip strengthening work by pressing into the thigh bones and lifting up, and then slowing it down, drop down. So this is, if you have tender knees, and I know a lot of you are struggling with some tender knees, this may not work, but this is all hip work, right? This is all using the outer hips, but unfortunately we do bear weight on the knees. So that may or may not work for you. So if not, you're still stabilizing the hips to do this work, so it's okay. You have 3 more, depending on what you're doing. Stay with what works for your body. Okay, and then we're gonna come back to the center. We're gonna cross right ankle over thigh, so you can move your heel away from your glutes to give you more space, or you can move them in close to make it more challenging. Let your chest open and then lift your hips. Try to let those hip points be level. So it's okay if your right knee is higher, try not to let the right hip dip. Gaze at your navel or gaze back. Really feel that left hip fire up, that left glute, that whole heel. Take another deep breath in. And then release the legs down. Cross-legged, take the arms up for a moment, and then just hinge forward. You can always have the hands back if that's better. And then however you need to, you can roll over your knees or you can swish them to the side, come to downward facing dog. Here's that reverse vinyasa. So again, using your core, using the strength of your shoulders, pick your heels up, roll and articulate, take your time. Come to an upward facing dog with the knees down or up, so heart lifted, strong through core. Come back to plank pose, little baby push up, back to plank, downward facing dog. Okay, before we move on to that second side, we're going to do an inversion. So it's a dolphin with a variation. So your left forearm is going to be down in dolphin. So remember, shoulder and elbow are in one line. So I don't want the elbow to go too far forward or too far back. Okay, and then your right palm is bent, and I like it right where the elbow is. Okay, so I'm going to face you. Elbow, palm. You can have it further back towards your body, but kind of play around with it, and it's shoulder width apart. Now drop your head and round your upper back. Think about eagle. Okay, so strong through your core. You can just stay here and drop your head and feel your head go below your hips, or you can tuck your toes and come into a funky dolphin. If you want to, you can lift the left leg. Drop your head though. We have 10 breaths here. Come out if you need, or drop to your knees. And it's weird because we're off kilter. So that's that change that we're inviting in, doing things differently, shaking things up so that we feel our bodies differently, feel our experiences differently. Keep moving your hips away from your shoulders. Strengthen that right palm just like we did earlier. One more breath. And then knees down. Then make that forehead pillow. Relax. Okay, let's come to down dog when you feel ready. Last side. Breathe in, breathe out. Now we're going to take the left leg forward for warrior two. So once again, I'm going to turn around. So right hand's at the hip, and I want to, again, not let the hip come forward and down, but rather lift and press out. So I want you to feel that there's muscles waking up there in your hip. With this left arm, right, or this left thigh, I want it to open. And then we're going to look towards our bicep. Our nose turns in, and then you look away. And then we can inhale, exhale. Trying to stretch out the neck. Keep both of your legs nice and strong so that your spine can be long, even the neck long. And then one more. And then both arms out to the side, both arms up, pivot, and then come into horse. And then here again, we cross the wrist, exhale, inhale. You got it. 3 more. 1 more. Arms up. Feel all that energy lift out of the feet, the hips. Reach it out through your palms. You got it. And then land back in warrior two. We're going to go left arm on top of the right. Turn towards the left. Go ahead and broaden your upper back. Feel the elbows reaching forward. And then turn so you can come into eagle pose. So I'm using my right toes as kickstands. Now I want to sit back and really feel the thighs squeeze together, feel the hips shift back. Find my core and close your eyes. And again, imagining you, this eagle with keen eyes, keen vision, keen perception, being able to fly above the norm, kind of flying above the chaos, and being able to see opportunity for you to show up, new things for you to develop within yourself, within your awareness. And then when you're ready, fly your arms out to goal post. Bend your left knee, keep your right knee bent, and I just hinge, toes spinning the floor, and then I straighten everything. And then I'm just going to bend again and try and build a little power. So each time press further away from the floor to get more lift. 2 more. And then all the way out. And then all the way up. Inhale, arms up. And then bring your thumbs to meet at your third eye, just kind of massaging. And then following it all the way down. Tuck and curl, and then on to your back. So from here, if you have a block, you can place it either between your legs. If knees together, heels out, doesn't feel good. So my first preference would be internal rotation, knees and ankles wide. But if this bothers your knees, then go neutral and just put a block that you can squeeze, and that will activate your inner thighs. Okay? So the same thing we did before, we exhale, inhale, but squeeze from the knee line in so that you feel as those adductors and inner thighs. So we're working kind of that different region of the glutes. So without me even telling you, where do you feel this in your glutes? Imagine, sense what's happening. So kind of dive into those more subtle sensations and experiences. Keep going. You should feel that whole inner thigh line. You have about 5 more. And now hold it up. So you'll squeeze that knee line, just holding it up. And then 1 more breath, lengthen your tailbone. And then all the way down, neutralize the hips for a moment. You might windshield wiper if that feels good. Draw your knees in, curl in, and rock and roll yourself up. Drop your legs to the left. So remember, your one option is to continue just more rhythmically moving, and your hips are having to stabilize you to move. So the more big your movements are, or quicker, your hips have to stabilize, right? Or I'm coming up and I'm slowing my descent down. Trying to really work this hip strengthening and mobility. So do what works for your knees. So it may not be that you can't do it, might just be that it doesn't work for your knees this time. So you just have to do what you have to do, right? So maybe like 3 more. Keep breathing, you guys. Stay with it. And on your last one, we'll come to neutral. Ankle over thigh. Remember, my heel can be way back if I need it. Shoulders on your back. Lift your hips. So I want to feel strong upper back activation, strong right glute activation. Breathe in and breathe out. Last couple breaths, make sure your hips are even. And then hips down, cross your ankles, and fold. Let your head rest. And then when you're ready, scoot your legs back behind you, downward facing dog. Last reverse vinyasa, we'll add in that back bend for the last little bit. Lift your heels, roll nice and slowly into your upward dog. Find your plank. Chaturanga to your belly. Hands back behind your head so that your head is supported. Find your strong core, press pubic bone down, fire up your legs, and then draw the elbows back, press your head into your hands and lift. Breathe. Make sure the neck is long, traction your neck out of your shoulders for 3, 2, and down. Make that forehead pillow and just gently, gently tap. Okay, you guys, as you're ready, take the hands back, pressing back to all fours. Here's dolphin on the second side. So right forearm down, left palm, right level with your elbow crease or further back or forward. You have to kind of feel it out. Elbow on the left is winging in towards the midline. Drop your head. Round your upper back. So I'm pressing from armpits into my palm and into my elbow. I can just stay here and work this, or I can tuck my toes and come into this funky forearm stand, and then right leg can lift if I want it. Now I've got to do my best to relax my neck through this and to really wake up the strength of my shoulder blades and core. You have 5 more breaths. And then both feet come down, knees come down, and again, that child's pose, either on a block or on your hands, massaging the space between your eyes. Okay, as you're ready, all fours to downward dog. Getting ready for pigeon. This is where you'll need 2 blocks, if you have it, or 1 block and a blanket. We're going to take that right leg up, and then we're going to bring it forward to pigeon. I'll show you an alternative if knees are bothering you for this. So here's what we're going to do in pigeon. I'll show you that, and then I'll give you all the different options. You'll take your 2 blocks. Maybe it's only 1. And as I come forward, I'm going to rest the space between my eyes, that third eye area, on this block, and I want to just release into the block. So I want it to be a little higher so that I can really release and let go of the hips. So that's option 1. If you don't have blocks, a forehead, your double fist can be this thing. Even prayer hands, thumbs. So if pigeon's not working to be weight loaded, roll onto your right hip, unload, and you can do the same thing. So I'm just on my right hip, I'm not on weight bearing on my knee. That's option 1. Option 2, 2 right angles. You can do the same thing. Right, so hopefully there's something for everybody there. So I want you to really breathe here and imagining, again, energy entering and leaving the space between your eyes. And just really focusing your awareness there. Really softening that space, imagining it kind of opening so that you can have information that maybe wasn't available to you before that can now become available through dreams, through intuition, which is like that softer voice at times that gives us a hint or a message or maybe I should try that, or maybe I should send that note or talk to that person or introduce myself, or maybe I should walk this way. It's the place of the genius, right? Those ideas. It's how we connect with one another without necessarily being in the same time and space. So one more breath. Okay, from your pigeon, just slowly come up, sit onto your right hip and bring your left leg forward for Janu Sirsasana. So that foot comes to the inner thigh or the inner knee. You can feel free to sit on something to lift your seat, especially if your pelvis is tucking under. Please sit up on something or place something underneath your right knee. Now, plant your hands and sit up nice and tall so that you turn towards your straight leg. Then you can just fold, and it can be with opposite arms, it can be with both hands, or if you have your two blocks, I can do the same thing. And I want to just, again, fold and allow myself to relax. You may not need anything. So if you're not supporting your head at all, can you, again, just focus your awareness into breathing into that space between your eyes. Being available for fresh insight. Okay, slowly coming up, moving your blocks so that they're not in the way. Plant your right palm. Maybe like that lift up. Maybe you're gonna hold your head so you can press and open those hips. And then swing your legs back and around, and we'll go to our last side. So that's that left leg. So bring it forward to pigeon. Maybe you have something going on this side which requires you to either unload and kind of roll over more to your left. But no matter what, stack your blocks if you can, or your fist pillow, and relax down. So maybe you only need one block, right? If you got to find that Goldilocks perfect amount. And just kind of resting your awareness at that space, trying to hold the focus there. To where awareness goes, our energy flows. So even if you don't feel or sense anything between your eyes, just holding your presence there, your awareness and being curious, that's how you draw more energy there. So you don't even have to really necessarily find anything. It may not be a revelation, or it may not seem very profound, but you're just starting to put more presence at that space in your body. Breath's nice and deep. Imagine that breath going straight into the center of the brain. Take a last couple breaths. And then you'll slide over onto the left hip, and you'll bring your right leg forward so that your right leg is straight, left knee bends. Sit up nice and tall, sit on something if you need to, turn your torso towards your straight right leg so that you can kind of direct the chest over the center of the thigh. And then again, it can be a slight hip hinge. Maybe the hand back behind you helps move your way there, or maybe it's blocks. Maybe you grab onto your foot. So it kind of helps me to release that kind of that left thigh or that left frontal hip forward a bit, right hip back, and then really let that left inner thigh relax. So left hip point forward, right hip point back. Left thigh relaxing. Puts a little bit less strain in the lumbar. Really letting yourself unwind the mind. And then slowly coming up, moving your blocks if you need to, planting the left hand, right hand behind to hold the head. Last final stretch before you lie onto your back. So options too, if you're getting kind of those tension headaches in the back of your body, you can lie on a block on the high, wide side. Hairline's what lays on the block, and you'll tuck your chin, your chest, and you can lie here. And it can be nice just to kind of release any tension back in that kind of occiput area. So that can be a nice thing to do. You can also try laying on your belly, and again here, kind of making that forehead pillow. So choosing a position to let you rest for a little bit. And for the first few moments, I'm going to let you direct your energy as if it's coming in from the crown of your head straight to the center of your brain on the inhale. And on the exhale, you're feeling that kind of white, luminous light fill your brain. So the inhale, you draw that white light into your body, the crown of your head to the center of your brain. On the exhale, it starts to dissipate and kind of flood down your spine, all throughout your body. And just do that for a few rounds. Like you're bringing in starlight, the perspective of the stars, the galaxies. And then just let that go, and then just allowing yourself to just gently fall into that pure presence of this moment. And try your best for the next couple minutes just to drink in silence. Like those sounds that we hear in our day, like what's in holding the sound, that silence, that space. And so maybe you imagine yourself in outer space, or you just imagine yourself merging with the space that holds sounds. Letting your skin feel soft and just soak it in for the next couple minutes. Easy breath. Every breath expanding. Feeling your mind so expansive, so open, so luminous. Letting your whole energy field kind of attuned to a higher frequency of light, of inspiration, of joy, of peace. And feel free just to continue to stay here and enjoy that space, or feel free just to start to bring yourself back into your awareness of your body. Just kind of taking in these sounds. See if you can really fine-tune your awareness to hear that full ringing. The softest sounds, letting that clear your brain. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up to a seat. If you feel like that, if you want to keep resting in your silence and your stillness, please do that. Once again, rub your hands together. And then letting your hands move slow so you feel the energy of your palms touching your eyes. And again, just recharging your perceptions, just the way you see, your vision. And then bringing your hands to your heart, feeling into your brain again, noticing the experience of noticing your brain, what you perceive. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then one Om together, and imagine that just resetting your frequency, your vibration to that of love, of wholeness, of potential, of light. So deep breath in. The light in me honors the light in you, friends. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. Let's do those eye exercises this week before Monday, and